Welcome. In this video, we're going to talk about how you're going to complete the main assignments in this course. Once you get to the Math 107 homepage here in Canvas, then click on wamap.org where all of our assignments are located. When you do that, the WAMAP window will open here inside the Canvas shell. Now, most of the assignments for this course where you will show what you're learning are in this folder, which specifically says Show Your Learning. When you click on that name or that icon that looks like a folder, it's going to open a list of all of the learning outcomes in the course in order. And each learning outcome will also tell you what sections of the text you'll be reading in order to study that learning outcome. The very top menu here are the steps to proficiency. So each learning outcome will have 4 steps. You'll first complete any reading assignments that are provided. Those are going to be labeled on the calendar like 1.1, 1.2, 2.3, and so forth. The second step is to complete homework assignment problems to practice the ideas in the readings. Once you get 50% of the total points on a homework assignment, then your quiz will open up for you. These timed quizzes will allow you the first opportunity to show proficiency, and then you'll move to the learning checks, which are slightly more advanced opportunities to show your proficiency. Sometimes a learning outcome will have a writing check as well, but those are the basic 4 steps: reading, homework, quiz, and then learning or writing checks. Let me close this one by clicking on it. And so you can see, for example, the very first learning outcome will have a list of readings that you'll be able to access by clicking on these links when they are available. So it looks like there are 4 sections, one for each of sections 1.1 through 1.4, and you'll complete those 4 sort of as a replacement of going to class. Once you're done with the readings, you can then try the homework problems that are related to the readings. If you score more than half of the points on the homework, then you can open up the quiz, click on that, and then attempt the quiz. The quiz is timed, so keep that in mind. But once you finish the quiz successfully, you'll then move on to any mastery checks, or proficiency checks is what they'll most likely be relabeled as. And that'll be either a learning check, which looks a lot like a quiz, or a writing check where you will write up something and submit it to the instructor to be graded. Not all of the learning checks have a writing check. Not all of the learning outcomes have a writing check. You can see that learning outcome number 1 has no writing check. So essentially, once you finish the homework, the quiz, and the learning check for learning outcome 1, then you're done with that learning outcome. Learning outcome 2 is what you would continue next. You would repeat the process. You would read, do the homework, finish the quiz, and then finish any proficiency checks that are available. Again, this terminology will be changing. In this case, you can see that for learning outcome 2, there is both a learning check and a writing check. Notice that there is a prerequisite for both of those. You must score at least 2 out of 4 points on the corresponding quiz to open these up. So that then forces you to do these things in order, which is how they're designed to be completed. So you can open and close these blocks as you need to, and move back and forward between learning outcomes if you want to. That's fine. This is one way to access and then work on these assignments. If we go back here to the main WAMAP page by clicking on Math 107 in the upper left corner, you can also access them via the calendar. So there's nothing here that looks like is on the calendar because this video is being created before the quarter starts. But if I move forward on the calendar by clicking on these arrows just to the right of now, above the calendar, you'll see the calendar will populate with the due dates for each of these assignments. So if you see something on a calendar's date, that means that assignment is due on that date. Now, normally all of the assignments for a given learning outcome will be due on the same day just to keep the calendar simple. There is one exception here at the start of the quarter where a couple of the reading assignments for learning outcome 1 are due on a Friday, and then everything else is due on that Monday. Now, this is very important. It is really important that you begin working on all of these individual assignments well before the due date, because if you wait until the day they're actually due and you have to do the readings and the homework and the quizzes and the learning and writing checks all in one day, you will quickly find that is a recipe for frustration. Instead, plan your calendars out very carefully. If you see that learning outcome due is due on Friday of the second week, you're going to want to start working on these assignments throughout this week. This is just the due date, so you can start 1.5 any point at or after it becomes available to you. So you need to plan very carefully so that you don't fall behind and that you're not trying to do everything on one day. But again, once you do want to access assignments, you can do it either by clicking on the calendar and then choosing the link from below the calendar, or as I said before, you could go to the Show Your Learning folder, find the learning outcome that you're working on, and then open the folder and use the links inside those to access those assignments. So that is how the Show Your Learning assignments will be accessed in this course, and that concludes this video.